She believes too heavily in instruction. She believes in finding your own path, but with very good examples and guidance around you to support you.
Okay, so guess what? You know how the royals always have some drama going on? Well, this time, it's not about the adults. It's about the kids, and OMG, when kids get dragged into royal stuff, it gets so messy. So there was supposed to be this cute little chill family day at Windsor. Like, King Charles just wanted all the grandkids to hang out together, both from William and Harry's side and Camilla's side too. Sounds all nice, right? Like tea under a tent, kids running around in the grass, happy family vibes. But nope, it didn't stay peaceful. Because guess what? Camilla's oldest grandson and Prince George ended up in the same group playing football, and that's when things started getting kinda yikes. Like, this wasn't just fun and games. Apparently George got picked on. And not just regular teasing, like it was harsh and weirdly personal and like, whoa. They even said stuff about George being king one day, and OMG even dragged Princess Diana into it, and like, who does that, right? And people there were saying it didn't even sound like something a kid would just randomly say. It felt like he was repeating something he heard grown-ups say at home, which is kinda sus, and George, being the calm kid he is, didn't even make a fuss. He just walked away all quiet, and then some staff gently took him aside like super low-key. But later, when Kate saw him, she instantly knew something was off. And that's when things got real serious, because William didn't just get mad like a royal, he got mad like a full-on dad.
I take duty very seriously. I take my responsibilities very seriously. But it's about finding your own way at the right time. And if you're not careful, duty can sort of weigh you down an awful lot at a very early age. And I think you've got to develop into the duty role.
Okay, so imagine this. You think you're heading into just another fancy royal family gathering, all smiles and photo ops and cute kids running around in the garden. But nah, things didn't go down like that at all. Because what was supposed to be a chill, sweet little day turned into something way deeper and kinda upsetting. So here's how it all started. King Charles had this whole idea, right? Like, let's bring all the grandkids together and show the world that the family's all blended and happy now. So he invites William and Kate's kids and Camilla's grandkids too, trying to make it feel like one big modern royal family picnic with tea and laughter and the whole soft vibes thing. And yeah, on the outside it looked nice, but behind the scenes it was not all smooth, because Kate was already kinda unsure about this whole mix. She didn't throw shade or make drama, but the people close to her said she had that gut mom feeling, you know, like, this isn't the best idea, especially for George. And you can't really blame her, because George is growing up in a totally different world with royal training and press watching every move, while Camilla's grandkids live a way more regular life, and Kate, being super protective, just didn't want George to be around behavior that might not match the values she's raising him with. And word is, she'd even mentioned this before, quietly just to flag it. Not to be petty, but just cautious. Especially when it came to one specific grandson of Camilla's anyway. The day goes on and everything seems okay. At first, the kids are out in the garden having fun. Someone suggests a game of football, and George, being his usual sweet and calm self, joins in, just trying to have fun, not steal the spotlight. But then things shift, because Camilla's oldest grandson starts getting a little too rough, and then a little too mean, and suddenly it's not just a game anymore, because the stuff being said goes from silly teasing to weirdly sharp, like, personal digs at George, and even comments about his posture and future role as king. And yep, it got even worse, because somehow Princess Diana got brought into it, which is like, whoa, way out of line. And what made it even more intense is that people nearby, like staff and royal aides, said the way that boy said those things didn't sound like kid talk. It sounded like he was repeating stuff he'd heard at home, like maybe stuff said more than once, and that just made the whole thing feel heavier. George didn't fight or make a scene. He just quietly walked off the field, and one of the bodyguards stepped in, real low-key, and led him away. And not long after, Kate saw him, and instantly she knew something was off. His whole face said it all, like red eyes, head down, heart kinda broken. And when they got home, he slowly told her everything, not in a dramatic way, just honestly. And it was clear the teaser teasing wasn't just silly stuff, it was personal and cruel. And Kate didn't cry or lose it, but she went totally ice cold, like moms do when their kid's been hurt, and she called William and told him what happened, and then looked at him like dead serious and said, either you do something or I will. And that right there changed everything. Because for William, this wasn't royal politics anymore. This was about his son. And when a dad sees his kid hurting like that, titles and crowns and cameras don't matter anymore. Okay, so later that night, after everything had kind of calmed down and the house was quiet and the kids were all tucked in, William sat alone for a bit and then made this move that wasn't flashy or loud, but trust me, it was huge. Like, he didn't call for some fancy royal meeting or wait around for palace protocol to kick in. He didn't even loop in a dozen people like they usually do. He just got a couple of his most trusted advisors and laid it all out super clear and firm. Basically said that Camilla's grandson is done. Like, no more invites, no more fancy appearances, no more honorary stuff, and absolutely no showing up at royal events where George or the other kids are gonna be around. No walking next to George in parades, no sharing space with the future king, none of that. It's over. And the wild part is, this wasn't just William talking big in the heat of the moment, like he actually made it official. Palace sources said it was all written down and sent straight into the royal record. Like, this is now a real policy, not just a dad venting. And what's even more intense is that William didn't even ask King Charles for approval. He just did it, like boom, decision made. And in royal world, that's like ripping out an entire page of the invisible royal rulebook and lighting it on fire. And the reason this hit different is because William didn't act like a prince here. He acted like a dad. He looked at what happened and basically said, enough is enough. No more pretending to smile for the cameras or playing polite when it comes to my kid. And honestly, even inside the palace, nobody really pushed back because they saw George's face too. They saw what that moment did to him, and it stopped being about royal image and totally became about protection. Okay, so let's get into what went down with Camilla. Because girl, when she found out about William's decision, she did not handle it with her usual calm queen vibes. Like, sources say she was in the middle of another royal thing, all composed and smiley, when a senior aide quietly handed her the letter. You know, the official one where William laid it all out, and OMG, the moment she read it, she didn't just sigh and move on. Nope, she legit stormed straight to Charles's office and slammed the paper right on his desk like full drama. And you might be thinking, would she really do that? And honestly, yeah, because you have to see where she's coming from. Like, she's spent years trying to get her family slowly blended into the royal world. Her kids and grandkids were finally getting invited to events, not with titles, but still visible enough to be seen like they belong. And this one decision just destroyed all of that. Like, in one move, William shut the whole thing down, and what probably made it worse was that Charles didn't defend her. He just listened and then gave her this one cold line like, I won't overrule him. He's protecting his family. And that was it. No argument, no debate. And even though the palace didn't say anything publicly, people inside those walls could feel the shift. Like, the mood changed overnight. Aides whispering in corners, staff passing glances like everybody knew this wasn't just a disagreement, it was something bigger. And then the tabloids got wind of it and started dropping hints. And then came the moment that told the whole world something had definitely happened. Without any official statement, William, Kate, George, and Charlotte showed up to a small Sunday church service. Nothing fancy, no flashing cameras, just local and quiet. But the second they stepped out of the car, people started clapping. Not loud, not wild, just this soft, respectful clap, like they were saying, "We see you." And George looked so confused at first, like, wait, why is everyone clapping for us? And Kate leaned down and whispered something to him. And whatever she said, it totally worked, because his face changed, and he gave this real, genuine smile. Not the trained royal one, just a normal, happy kid smile. And you could tell in that second, he felt safe again. And honestly, that clap wasn't just for the Prince and Princess of Wales, it was for George too. For that little boy who went through something, and for his parents who didn't let it slide, who stood up and said, nope, not this time, and that hit people. Because royal or not, when it comes to your your kid, you protect them, end of story. Okay, so here's the deal. Camilla's quiet plan to slowly bring her family into royal life is basically done like for years. She was playing the long game, getting her grandkids small roles at royal events. Nothing flashy, just enough to show they belonged, and honestly, it was working until William stepped in after what happened with George and made it clear, nope, not happening anymore. And this wasn't just about one kid getting cut out. His decision shut down the whole plan, like full stop, and people close to Camilla say she's still upset, like won't even say William's name, kind of upset, because she put so much into making her family part of the royal world, and now it's just gone. And here's the thing, William didn't make this about drama or attention. He didn't post anything or hold a meeting. He just acted like a dad who saw his kid get hurt and said enough. And yeah, it sent a message, not just to Camilla, but to everyone that the royal rules are changing. And honestly, Diana would have understood completely because she knew what it felt like to be unprotected. William just made sure George won't go through the same. So what do you think? Did he do the right thing? Would you have drawn the same line if it were your kid? Let me know. And if you want more real royalty, you know what to do.